to touch the unknown. Believe me, all of it.
But I was lost and I was scared. And I was in a
How
hammock.
did you get lost?
Well, as soon as you leave.
I tried to find out what was hidden under the dense foliage.
Like, you could literally walk 15 feet and then be like, I'm just going to come right back.
It was supposed to be just another lazy summer day. Jake, Emma, and I had planned to meet up at our favorite spot by the creek to skip stones and complain about the heat. The air was thick and humid, with dragonflies darting over the surface of the water. We'd been spending almost every day down here since school let out, soaking up the last bits of summer before reality set in. But fate had other plans. As I swung my backpack off and dropped it in the dirt, Jake was already poking at something buried halfway under a patch of wildflowers. He wiped the dirt away with his sleeve, revealing a phone, dirty, cracked, but still intact. I glanced at Emma, who gave me a skeptical look, her sunburned nose crinkling in disbelief. The thought that it could still work seemed impossible, but Jake was persistent. After a few minutes of fiddling and pressing random buttons, the screen flickered to life. The battery was miraculous at 12%. A rush of adrenaline shot through us. How long had it been buried here? Whose phone was it? None of us had answers. Jake swiped through the apps, but most were locked or unusable without an internet connection. Then he found it, a folder labeled "Watch Me." A sense of unease washed over me, but curiosity took over. Jake opened the first video. The screen filled with shaky footage of a girl whispering frantically, her face pale and frightened. The wind rustled through the trees around us, and I felt a strange chill despite the heat. The sound of crashing in the background cut off her words, and the video ended abruptly. Our hearts raced as Jake selected the next video. This one showed the girl in a cabin, pointing the phone camera at a dusty map spread across a table. Red X's marked several locations, including one close to the creek. The image was grainy and distorted at times, like it had been filmed in a rush. A sudden rustling from the trees made us freeze. My heart pounded, and I could feel every pulse in my fingertips. The phone slipped from Jake's grasp and skittered across the dirt. We stood in stunned silence for a moment, caught between fear and fascination. We gathered the phone and exchanged nervous glances. There was one more video, but none of us felt brave enough to watch it there. The shadows had stretched long and thin, creeping toward us like skeletal fingers. Instead, we decided to take the phone back to my house and see it on a bigger screen. Back at my place, we huddled around my laptop and plugged in the phone, hoping to transfer the files before the battery died. The screen glowed dimly as the final video opened. The girl's face appeared, visibly shaking, her cheeks streaked with dirt and dried blood. She was muttering to herself, words disjointed and panicked, glancing over her shoulder as if expecting someone to burst in. The room behind her looked trashed, furniture overturned, papers scattered. The screen went black just as a loud bang sounded in the background, followed by muffled footsteps. We sat there in stunned silence, not daring to move. The battery icon flashes red, and the phone dies. I felt a strange pressure in my chest, like something was squeezing my lungs, but I couldn't tear my eyes away from the now dark screen. Emma rubbed her arms as if trying to chase away the chill that had settled over us. Emma pointed at the map on the screen, and we hesitated only a moment before grabbing our bikes and heading back to the creek. By the time we arrived, the sun was dipping low, and shadows stretched like dark fingers across the ground. The woods seemed quieter than usual, almost like they were holding their breath. We found the spot marked by the red X, an old, rotting wooden crate, half buried in dirt and leaves. The wood was splintered and weak, and together, we pried it open, coughing as dust billowed out. Inside was a tattered journal, its cover stained and torn, and a blood-stained hoodie balled up in the corner. There was also a folded piece of paper with a chilling message. The words seemed to pulse with dread, ink smudged but still legible. A sudden sound behind us made us spin around, and in the dim light, we saw a tall figure emerging from the trees. Without thinking, we bolted, adrenaline roaring through our veins. The bikes wobbled on the rough path, but we didn't stop until we reached my house, slamming the door shut behind us. We were breathless, drenched in sweat, and our hands shook as we locked every door and window. That night, none of us slept. The fear lingered like a poison in our veins, making every creak and groan of the house sound like footsteps approaching. The phone was completely dead, and the footage wouldn't transfer, leaving us questioning everything. Emma texted at one point, asking if we should call the police, but we couldn't even explain what we'd seen. Nothing made sense. The next morning, curiosity gnawed at me, pulling me back to the creek alone. I couldn't ignore the knot of unease in my stomach, but I needed to see if it was all real or just some twisted prank. When I arrived, the area was disturbingly quiet. The crate was gone, the ground freshly turned, but there was something else, a new marker. A wooden cross, crudely made, stuck into the dirt where the crate had been. As I bent down to examine it, I noticed fresh footprints, too large to be ours, leading away from the site. A shiver crept down my spine as I turned back toward the safety of town. That night, lying in bed, I couldn't help but replay the videos in my mind. I never told Jake or Emma about the cross. Some secrets are better buried. But every time I pass the woods now, I feel watched, like eyes are following me from between the trees. The feeling never goes away, and I can't help but wonder if we uncovered something we were never meant to find.